Open the program and click Still Evaluating. To load in the drum plugin, you just add a track and then click Effects. And then this is the list of all the effects. And so you just go through here till you see the one that says Power Drum Kit and click Add. And it'll take you a second to load in. There we go. It will also pop up and tell you it's free, but they would love a donation. And if you'll give them a donation, then you won't have to deal with this stupid splash screen anymore.
Okay.
That's kind of what that says there. But otherwise, you can just click skip every time. And then got just a little bit of a lag on it right now. That lag is because it's because of the sound card having to take time to process that you clicked the button and then spit it back out. But you don't experience the lag as much if you play MIDI. So I'm going to click that effects again to bring this back, and you'll see this is the interface for the drums. So there's a few things here. First thing is it does have a mixer, so you can mix everything inside here, and it all be in one channel inside of your DAW. So all of the drums is here, but then you can kind of mix it right here. Then we've got grooves. So this is what I was telling you about. So our tempo right now is, I think it default sets to 120.
Okay.
And so I'll just leave it at 120.
Okay.
And so in grooves, we can go, like, it's got them separated 4/4 grooves that are recommended for 150 beats per minute. And then it's got ones that are recommended for 250. And you just kind of play with them, figure out which ones you like. They've got shuffles and then 6/8 grooves. If you don't find what you like, there's a lot to choose from. But if you don't find anything you like, then you can find even more MIDI on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll just start with 4/4 grooves. So if you click on this intro folder, there is 16 different intros that you can choose from.
Cool.
Combinations of kicks and snares, kicks and toms, snares and toms, snares, toms with crescendo with and without. So if you want to sample them, just press this play button and click on one. So you kind of go through there and find one you like. And you'll say, oh, that one's cool. So you can actually just take it, and at this point, there's two things you can do. You can either drag it directly onto the track right here.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to be building kind of a drum track, you can drag them right here and kind of play with them.
Oh, so before you move it over there.
Drag one right here. So there's an intro, and so now let's hop over here and try a couple of these and see which ones we like. So that's cool, just kind of a simple. So let's stop that. It's going to ask how many bars that you want to drag at one time. This time we'll do 3 so that we got a fill. That would make 4 and be kind of comfortable. And so just drag and drop it right there. And then over here, each one of these has a set of fills that are kind of customized to the beats. So you see each.
Oh, so if you click whichever, this will change according to what you're over there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so since we use this, let's look at some fills over here. What we got? So.
That's cool.
That one's cool. So we can drag it here, and then we drag another one here, and then we'll just drag this here. And so now I've kind of laid this out, right?
You got some fills and some. Wow, that sounds cool.
Right. Yeah. And so
that sounds better than Jerry. No, I'm kidding.
So
It's on tape.
So you lay it all out in your composer, and if you don't like it, there's a little X. You can click on the X and get rid of it. So
And
like,
yeah, just that
so
piece.
you're like, I don't like that feel. Let's try a different one. Right? Once you've got it all the way you want it. Oh, excuse me. What I did just now is I accidentally dragged it and made it fill the whole screen. Just double click on that and it'll stop.
Okay.
Well, we want to kind of. Here we go. You just need to be able to see over here, because what we're going to do is once you've got it all composed the way you like it, click anywhere in that composer bar and drag and drop it onto your track out here. And then, from there you can position it where you want to. And it builds, what it does is it just builds a MIDI track. And so, you click inside that MIDI track. Oh, I made it think hard. And inside here, there's just, all it's done is made these little marks that are associated with a key.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you had a MIDI keyboard, you could actually play, instead. Right? And so it's made this little track, and it just follows the track. Now, I've got a little thing in here. If you ever load it in like this, you'll have to do this all manually. But just click Load Note Names, and then click Drum Map, and it'll tell you which key is associated with which thing. So you got the hi-hat, if the pedal's shut,
Open and closed.
Hi-hat closed, hi-hat half open, hi-hat fully open, crash right, all that. And so that's all in there, and you can kind of edit that.
Okay.
And that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And then it plays along. But as you can see, it's all just in one single channel. Now, granted, you can go inside the drum program, click on Mixer, and kind of adjust stuff. But if you wanted to have a little bit more control over like EQ on your drums, then I have it set. I have a simple template set up for you already. Just click on at any point in time, you just click on File and then go to Project Templates.
Okay.
And there's two of them in here. There's Simple MT Power Drum Setup, and it looks just like what we just did.
Okay.
But then there's the full setup, and it's going to give you, we're going to click No to not save. It's going to give you a full drum setup where this is called a folder in Reaper. So you see how there's a little notch, and then everything that's notched inside of it is part of the folder. And
Okay.
so all of our drums are inside of this folder, but there's a few channels. The first channel is the MIDI channel. It's the one that's called MT Power Drums. That's, if you click Effects, that's where your drum. Every time you got to go in and click Skip. If you don't, then it will not work.
Yeah, if you
until
didn't buy
hit
it,
skip.
yeah.
And so once you've got that gone, though, what I've done is out of this channel, I went into this routing is what it's called, and I routed the kick, snare, hi-hat, high tom, mid tom, low tom, crash, and ride to their own channels, so that down here in your console,
You mix the kit right
you
there.
can mix them. You can independently add effects and EQ and compression and stuff like that to just the snare. To just if you're having trouble with something, you can be like, something's going on, something sounds weird. You can solo out just the pieces, the different pieces.
Yeah.
And so this is how I like to do it. It might be more than you're concerned about, in which case you've got the simple setup that's just the one channel. And so the last thing I want to show you is if you're messing around with grooves and you can't really find a groove that you like, you can make your own. You just click on the MIDI track and make sure you're on the track that is for the virtual instrument, because you got several tracks here. So make sure you're on this one. In this case, it's track number 2. Click on it and then click Insert MIDI Item. Insert and then New MIDI Item. And it just gives you an empty MIDI item. You can click on it and then you can go in here. Everything's already labeled for you what the name of it is, and you could say
Cool.
in this is easier to do with a real mouse. But each of these lines is a measure. And so inside that measure, you could say that you wanted to go, see if we can zoom in a little bit. There we go. So now we're seeing each of the 4 beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's all laid out on this grid. So you might say, oh, I want to do, you know, a kick on 1, and then, you know, snare on 3, and I want to crash on 1, and then ride on the rest of them. And so you can actually just draw out your drum beat. You know,
cool.
And with super precision, because your grid right now it's at 30 seconds.
You're programmed a piece at a time that way.
Yep.
I mean, your entire kit. That would take a while.
So what I would do, whenever I would do this, is I would make like a section, just like one section, and then most time on the drums, you know, you got a groove and you're going to repeat that. So like once I made the one, then I just copy it.
Yeah, just slide over to the next.
But you may never have to mess with that, or you may not have to do it very often, because like I said, you've got that whole library of the different grooves that you can use.
Yeah, that way you'd probably mostly your fills and your like intros and outros and stuff.
But once you've got your MIDI track and you say, I like that, I just need to repeat it, you can hold the control button and drag, and it creates a copy of itself.
Oh, yeah.
And so then if you want to just copy an entire section, you can just, what you'll want to do is make sure they're white like this, and that they're selected, control, and you can copy the entire thing. If you want to copy an entire row right in a row, click on the first one, then hold down shift and click on the last one, and it selects everything from the first one to the last one, and then you can
copy the whole thing to that point.
Copy the whole thing.
Oh.
And so if you got a song that's got 3 verses, 3 choruses, and a bridge, you really only have to make a verse, a chorus, and a bridge, and then just copy them. And I'm noticing there that's a little off. But
that's
you know
okay.
what I'm saying.
But yeah, you can see the principle. That's
and
awesome.
So then, once you've got it all set up, you can kind of collapse this. That way it's not in your way. This little arrow right here collapses folders. And so like whenever I record, generally I'll do the drums, I'll put them in a folder, then I'll put rhythm guitar in a folder, because I'll record 2 different tracks and kind of pan one left and pan one right to kind of give a cool stereo look. And so you can kind of play. Reaper has unlimited tracks, so the only limitation is how much can your computer handle.
Yeah.
Anyways, when you're done, you can click File and click Save.
Yeah, go ahead and save that if you will, so give me something to monkey around with.
Yeah. And then there's a folder called Reaper Media that's the default place for stuff to save. And we'll just call this one Monkey Around. So, there you go.
Monkey Around, the Monkey Around project.
And then you can close it. And then the cool thing for you is the next time you open it, it's
all still there.
It should just open right back up to what you did last time. Let's see if it does. Yep. See, and it just opens right back up to what you was doing.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great.
And so.
All right. Well, I appreciate you doing all that.
And so, if you have or if you get a little audio interface, like a USB audio interface.
Yeah, that's why I hadn't got one, because I couldn't get it going.
Right. But if you get one and install like the drivers to your computer, then it'll install something called ACO driver, and that is a low latency audio driver that allows it to where whenever you hit a note, that the computer is able to spit it back out at you in a less latent situation. So, a minute ago we'd hit it and it was like done.
Yeah, it's not
Done.
right then, it's after, yeah.
The ACO is low latency. So if you get something like that and have a hard time getting it configured, let me know and I'll help you.
So you can play along with it more real time.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I sure appreciate